When you were a kid, a single summer felt endless. 6 weeks off school stretched out like a whole era. August felt years away from June. Now, you blink, and it's December again. An entire year just evaporates. Wasn't it just January? Here's the strange part. The clock hasn't changed. A year is the exact same length it's always been. So why does it feel like time is speeding up every single year? It's not your imagination. And once you understand why it happens, you can actually slow it back down. Let's get into it. First, you're not making this up. Ask almost anyone over 30 and they'll tell you the same thing. The years feel like they're coming faster. It's one of the most consistent experiences people report about getting older. But here's the key to understanding it. Time isn't speeding up in the moment. A boring Tuesday afternoon at work can still feel like it lasts a decade. The speeding up happens when you look back. You get to the end of a year and it feels like it barely happened. You get to the end of a decade and it feels like it went in a flash. So the real question isn't, why does time feel fast? It's, why does looking back feel so compressed? And there are two big reasons. The first reason is pure math. Think about a 1-year-old. To them, a single year is their entire life, 100% of everything they've ever known. Now think about a 10-year-old. A year is 1/10 of their life. Still big? A school year feels substantial, but by the time you're 50, a single year is just 1/50th of your life. Proportionally, it's tiny. This is an old idea, Kate, that we might judge a stretch of time relative to how much time we've already lived. To a 5-year-old, waiting a year for their birthday is forever because it's a huge slice of their existence. To their parents, that same year is a small familiar fraction, so it slips by. Each passing year is a smaller and smaller percentage of your total life. So even if nothing else changed, the ruler you measure time against keeps getting longer. That alone makes each year feel shorter than the last. But proportion isn't the whole story. The second reason is more interesting and more useful. Because your sense of how long a period lasted isn't based on the clock. It's based on how many memories you made. Here's the thing, your brain doesn't record time like a stopwatch. When it looks back and asks, how long was that? It uses a shortcut. It counts how much stuff it remembers happening. Lots of new memories, that stretch feels long and full. Few new memories, that stretch feels short, like it barely happened. Now think about childhood. Everything was new. Your first day of school, first bike, first time at the sea. Every week delivered something your brain had never encoded before, so it saved all of it, densely, in detail. That's why one childhood summer holds more remembered moments than an entire year of your 30s. As an adult, your life becomes routine. Same commute, same job, same streets, same weekends. And your brain has a brutal rule for routine. If it's predictable, don't bother storing it in detail. You already know it. So months of sameness get compressed into almost nothing. A blur your brain barely bothered to record. You didn't lose the time, your brain just decided it wasn't worth remembering. This explains something you've probably felt, but never had words for. Think about a trip somewhere new, a week in an unfamiliar city. While you're there, the days feel packed. So much happening you almost lose track. But here's the strange part. When you get home and look back, that 1 week feels bigger in your memory than the month before it. A single week outweighs a month. Why? Novelty. New place, new sights, new food, new problems to solve. Your brain flips back into childhood mode and starts recording everything again. Densely. That week is stuffed with fresh memories, so it takes up more space when you look back. Compare that to a normal week at home, which, honestly, you can barely distinguish from the 50 around it. This is the secret hidden inside the whole phenomenon. Time doesn't feel long because it was slow. It feels long because it was rich, which means the speed of your life is, to a real degree, in your hands. But there's a cruel irony here, and it's worth being honest about. The things that make life feel fast are often the things we want. Stability, a comfortable routine, knowing exactly how your week will go. A settled, predictable life. We spend our 20s and 30s building exactly that, and it's not a mistake. Comfort and stability are genuinely good things, but stability is made of repetition. And repetition is precisely what your brain refuses to record. So the more settled and automatic your life becomes, the faster it seems to slip away when you look back. The blur isn't a sign you're doing life wrong. It's often a sign you got comfortable. And comfort, it turns out, has a hidden cost, measured in years you don't quite remember. So how do you slow it back down? You don't need to blow up your life. You need to give your brain more worth recording. 4 ways. 1. Break the routine on purpose. A new route home. A dish you've never cooked. A part of your city you've never seen. A small novelty still counts as a novelty. You're giving your brain fresh things to save. 2 collected firsts. Firsts are memory magnets. A skill you've never tried, a place you've never been, a thing that scares you slightly. 1 real first can anchor an entire month. 3. Be there when you're there. Novelty only encodes if you notice it. Half your life vanishes because you spent it on autopilot, looking at a screen. Look up, pay attention. Attention is what turns a moment into a memory. 4. Mark time deliberately. Take the photo. Write the line in a journal. These aren't just keepsakes. They create anchor points your brain can hang a memory on, so the year has texture instead of blur. But here's the reframe that matters most. The goal isn't to panic about time. It's not to cram every second with frantic activity so nothing ever feels normal. The goal is presence. Because when you really look at why childhood felt so long, it wasn't just that everything was new, it's that you were paying attention. Fully there. Soaking in a world you hadn't figured out yet. Somewhere along the way, most of us stopped doing that. We started living in the future, the next task, the next worry, and the present just streamed past unwatched. You can't make yourself a child again, but you can start paying attention again. And the moment you do, time starts to feel full again because you're finally in it. So here's the whole picture. Time feels faster as you age for 2 reasons. Each year is a smaller slice of your life, and your brain compresses the routine ones into a blur. Childhood felt endless because it was wall to wall with firsts, and because you were actually paying attention to them. The fix isn't more speed, it's more novelty and more presence. New things, noticed fully. You can't add more hours to a year, but you can make a year worth remembering, and a remembered year feels long. So don't just let the next one blur past. Save this and tell me, what's one first you could give yourself this year?